Airlines, cruise lines, and TSA have quietly tightened luggage rules, especially around carry-ons, batteries, and personal items. Today I'm breaking down what's actually changed, why it matters, and how to pack so that you don't get stuck paying fees or having items confiscated before your vacation even begins. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now in 2026, luggage rules are stricter than ever, and the confusing part is that cruise lines, airlines, even cruise ports of call, TSA, they don't all follow the same rules. But don't worry, I'm going to break down everything for you, including the new updates and actually significantly stricter rules that have come into effect in mid-January 2026 and that are going to be in effect throughout this year. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, carry-on rules are stricter than ever, especially for basic and economy flights. Now, I am going to give you the specific dimensions, whether you are flying domestically or internationally, as well as exactly what the gate agents are looking for. So what's happening in 2026? Well, most airlines still allow 22 by 14 by 9 inches, including wheels and handles. But passengers do report that bags are actually being measured much more than they were even a year ago. There's less flexibility, even if it fit the last time, and we're starting to see automatic bag sizers. Now, in particular, what you want to watch for is if you have a carry-on that has an expandable zipper, that is where many people report that they are getting into trouble and they are being asked to zip this up without the expandable compartment. This means that if you're overstuffing your carry-on bag, you may end up with your luggage being flagged for gate check. Now, if you're flying international or overseas, they are much stricter, not only with the size of your carry-on, but with the weight as well. So this is super important if you're going on a Mediterranean cruise, maybe a river cruise in Europe, or any international trip. Now, in terms of sizing, many international airlines allow 21.5 by 15.5 by 9 inches, or sometimes even a little bit smaller than that. So you do want to check on your airline's website. Now, in terms of the weight limits, I can tell you that I actually got caught with this a couple of times. The weight limit is typically between 7 and 10 kilograms, or 15 to 22 pounds. Now, it doesn't mean that it's always going to cost you extra money or be a big problem, but you can be asked to gate check your carry-on, which is what happened to me. Now, something new that we've had over the last few months is that some economy or basic fares actually do not include a carry-on, and they only include a personal bag. And if your carry-on or personal bag exceeds the sizing that is allowed, you could be charged to gate check. And that's where it can cost you between $60 and $100 per piece of luggage, which is actually more expensive than if you had simply paid for checked luggage. And in many cases, we're having passengers saying that, you know what? Personal bags have become the new carry-on. Personal bag for flights, cruise embarkation, and cruise ports. Now, your personal bag is where everything important goes. Your electronics, your medication, your power banks, which we are going to talk about in number 3, your travel documents, and basically anything that you cannot risk getting gate checked. And this is why a structured smart personal bag has basically become the new carry-on, which is where Nomad Lane, the sponsor of today's video, comes in. The updated origami tote was redesigned to handle today's stricter airline and cruise luggage rules. It fits under the seat, but it holds way more than you'd expect without looking bulky or oversized. Now, what I really like is that it's not just a big open tote. It's structured and organized with dedicated compartments and zippered pouches for tech, chargers, and even first day essentials. It is bigger than it looks. I was able to pack a packing cube with a change of clothes and my swimsuit, my medication, my passport, documents, a toiletry bag, jewelry, and more. Plus, it has a zippered cushioned laptop compartment, a key leash, and a luggage sleeve. Now, I do want to talk about the quality and features. The Nomad Lane origami tote bag is made with premium weather-resistant nylon, and the handles are a super comfortable leather. I personally do like a shoulder bag, and this was very easy to carry. It's also great for land travel, airports, hotels, pre-cruise stays, because it actually looks polished enough to carry everywhere, and you don't have to switch bags constantly. Now, I am going to leave the link to the Nomad Lane website, as well as an awesome discount code down below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. Chargers and power banks, new airline rules that are updated as of January 2026. Now, as of January 15th, 2026, several major airlines have introduced stricter rules for chargers and power banks due to lithium battery fire risks. Now, on airlines like Lufthansa and Swiss International Airlines, you are still allowed to bring power banks or portable chargers on the airplane. However, you are not allowed to actually charge your devices while you are on that airplane. And this is something very new. Now, you are still not allowed to pack your chargers in any checked luggage. So that always has to go in your personal bag or carry-on. But here's the thing, it actually has to go under your seat, or it can be on you as well, but not in any overhead compartments. Now, over the past year, we have actually seen several airlines become more strict about power banks, and this is linked to incidents where there have been overheating power banks that have been in the overhead compartments. Now, something important, if you do have a charger or power bank, make sure that there are no damaged wires, there is no swelling or overheating. And power banks should be under 100 watt hours. 2026 update on e-cigarettes and vapes. Now, in 2026, the rule regarding e-cigarettes hasn't changed, at least for airlines, but it has been more strictly enforced. Now, if anybody doesn't know, we were actually on a flight that ended up being delayed approximately 3 hours because people were caught vaping before our flight took off. So these people were actually removed from our flight and apparently could end up on a no-fly list, as well as be subject to federal charges. So what are the rules when it comes to vaping and e-cigarettes? Well, they can never be packed in your checked luggage. They always have to go in your carry-on or your personal bag. And on most airlines, they're not allowed to be charged during your flight. Now, when it comes to cruises, vapes or e-cigarettes are really treated on the cruise ship. And I do have an update to this, but on the cruise ship, they're treated like cigarettes. So you still have to use a vape in like the smoking area. You're not allowed to vape on your balcony. So even though it's not a fire risk because of the type of device, it is still treated this way. Now, what is the update? This is really big. If you are going to Mexico, Mexico has actually made a new law where they are very strictly enforcing some rules around vaping and e-cigarettes. And if you do not follow the rules and you are caught, you are subject to potentially up to $12,000 in fines and possibly even arrest. In fact, we have Margaritaville at Sea, who has notified their passengers. As of January 16, 2026, Mexico is enforcing a nationwide ban on the importation and sale of vapes and e-cigarettes. While possession within the country may still be legal, the key issue for travelers is entering Mexico through customs, including airports and cruise ports. And it's something that we don't often think about. When we are entering Mexico or any other cruise port, we are going through customs. So we really do want to be cautious with that. So if you do vape, make sure that you do leave that on the cruise ship and do not bring it out in Mexico. Just not worth it. Luggage screening on a cruise, an update for 2026. Now, if you cruised a few years ago, you would have said that the screening for luggage just isn't really the same as an airport. But if you've seen any of those new cruise terminals, you'll see that it really is very similar. So a lot of the scanning equipment is really updated. Now, something to expect when you're going on a cruise is that your carry-on, your personal bag, all of that is going to be checked as you board the ship on embarkation day, but your checked luggage is scanned as well. And in fact, there are sniffer dogs that even if you do not see them, they are checking for banned substances, alcohol, and items that are on the prohibited list for your cruise line. Now you might be wondering, how many pieces of luggage can I bring when I go on a cruise? Well, this is where it does differ from when you are flying. Cruise lines are not typically very strict about the amount of pieces that you can bring. Usually it's 1 or 2 pieces of checked luggage for your cruise. And in terms of the weight, it usually is the same as when you fly. So basically 50 pounds for a piece of checked luggage. But in my experience, I've never actually seen any piece of luggage weighed. Packing medication for flights and cruises in 2026. Well, really not very much has changed in terms of the TSA rules. Something to note is if you are bringing any liquid medication, just make sure that you do have that prescription on the bottle. And that's pretty important for when you are going through airport security. And just to let you know, that liquid medication, that doesn't actually count towards the 311 liquid rules when you are flying. Now, a lot of times people do ask, if I'm going on a cruise, do I need to have all of my medication in their original containers and labeled? Now, while this is not necessary, it is on most cruise line websites that they do actually recommend this. And most of the time, this is just because if there's a reason that they might inquire as to what is the medication, it can actually delay getting on board. And as well, if you ever needed a replacement of that medication for any type of emergency, it is much easier to do that if you do have the label on your medication. Now, I do have an entire video all about packing medication, so I will leave like a packing playlist that includes that video at the end of this one. Packing liquid and alcohol updated for 2026. Now, overall, the rules remain the same, but they are being much more strictly enforced. Now, I will explain. Now, first, something that can be confusing, especially if it's your first cruise, is that the rules for the TSA and for airlines and for cruises are very opposite in many ways when it does come to liquids. So just to let you know, there is no liquid rule when it comes to a cruise. So you're not really limited if you want to bring full-size shampoo, that kind of thing, that's absolutely fine. But where you do have to really watch is the amount of liquid when it comes to alcohol in your checked bag. Because when you go on a cruise, if you do bring wine on your cruise, which you're allowed on most cruise lines to bring 1 bottle of wine per person for your cruise, you actually have to have this in your carry-on bag. Now, in the past, cruise lines wouldn't necessarily be very strict. If you brought this and it was in your checked bag, usually you wouldn't have a problem. Sometimes they would take it out and give it to you and just let you know about the rule. But we've actually heard from some passengers just over the last few months that say that their wine, even if normally it would be allowed on the cruise had they brought it in their carry-on bag, that if they did put it in their checked luggage, that it is being confiscated and not even being given back. And of course, when it does come to hard alcohol, for most cruise lines, this is something that is not allowed. Tech items on a cruise, what is now restricted? Now, we definitely have had some major updates. So some things that you should know is that walkie-talkies are not allowed on cruises. Transmitting devices are not allowed on cruises. And this includes, by the way, any Wi-Fi routers, anything to get around the internet. These are items that are no longer permitted on a cruise. And something new is Meta or smart glasses that are no longer permitted on MSC cruises in the public areas. And we do have a rule on Carnival that you're not allowed to wear Meta glasses when you are going through security. Heating items, what is allowed and what is not. Now, heating items are one of the things that are the most confiscated when you go on a cruise. So the rule to remember is if it heats something up and it's an appliance, it is not allowed on a cruise. Now, this includes things you wouldn't think of, but some people bring them. Rice cookers, heating blankets, so anything that really heats things up. But there is an exception, and that is anything that is for personal grooming use. So basically curling irons, straighteners, hair dryers, on the most part, these are allowed on cruises. Now, I am going to leave that cruise packing playlist right after this video, but I would love to hear from you. What are some of the new rules, whether it's cruising, flying, even in cruise ports of call, that you've actually seen enforced or maybe even had it happen to you? Please let me know any of your stories down below. I know that that will be helpful to other people. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Bye for now and happy cruising.